Alexandra Eala. The reality of travel and difficulty of securing visas with a Philippine passport. Alexandra Eala couldn't be prouder of her heritage, a fact that was on full show last month at the Miami Open, where she became the first player from the Philippines to reach the semifinals of a WTA 1000 event, and with it, cracked the top 100, having cut her ranking in half as a result of her Miami exploits, where she upset Australian Open champion Madison Keys and world No. 2 Iga Swiatek en route to the Final Four. Eala will now enjoy the fruits that come with being in that ranking range, including direct entry to the biggest tournaments. But there's one thing that Eala says is a challenge of being a citizen of the archipelagic nation of nearly 115 million, securing visas with her passport. What's challenging is being able to travel with flexibility, Eala said last week, speaking to Philippine media in the aftermath of her Miami run. As a tennis player, you need to be very flexible with your schedule. You're going to make a lot of last-minute choices. It doesn't allow you time to organize all of this, every single time, to have the visas ready. As of 2025, the Philippine passport ranks 74th in the Henley Passport Index, which since 2005 has rated travel freedoms for the world. Eala and other citizens of the Philippines are afforded visa-free or visa-on-arrival travel to only 65 countries and territories. Though she is based at Rafael Nadal's namesake tennis academy in Mallorca, Spain, the 19-year-old needs a visa in advance of traveling to the location of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments, Australia, France, Great Britain, and the United States, as well as Asian swing hub China, just to name a few. But despite the challenges posed to her traveling, Eala says she wouldn't trade the intangibles that come from being Filipina for anything, including the fan support from the country's diaspora that has followed her across the globe. In 2013, the Commission on Filipinos Overseas, CFO, estimated that more than 10 million people of Filipino descent live or work abroad, and in 2023, more than 4.6 million of these could be found in the United States, the site of Eala's 2 biggest career achievements to date. In 2022, she won the Junior U.S. Open singles title. "We cannot find that kind of community anywhere else, in my opinion," she confessed. The left-hander will take her new top 100 ranking, a perch of No. 72, into this week's WTA 125 event in Oeiras, Portugal, where she is the top seed. At just 18 years old, Alexandra Eala has already carved out her place in tennis history. She's a Grand Slam junior champion, a rising WTA contender, and a symbol of hope for Filipino athletes. But behind the fierce serves and winning rallies lies a challenge that few spectators ever see, a challenge that has nothing to do with technique, fitness, or opponents. It's the passport she carries. As a holder of a Philippine passport, Eala faces a unique and often invisible obstacle in her career: the difficulty of international travel. In the glamorous, globe-trotting world of professional tennis, where elite players bounce from country to country in a matter of weeks, Alexandra doesn't just plan for the court. She must also plan for embassies, immigration lines, and visa interviews. And for a young woman determined to compete with the best, this adds an exhausting, frustrating dimension to an already demanding life. A star with global ambitions and bureaucratic barriers. Professional tennis is a truly global sport. The WTA calendar takes players across continents, from Melbourne to Madrid, Doha to New York, and everywhere in between. But not all athletes travel under the same conditions. Players from countries like the United States, Australia, or much of Europe have powerful passports that allow visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to over 180 countries. By contrast, the Philippine passport offers that same privilege to just around 67. That means nearly every tournament abroad for Eala, especially in Europe or North America, comes with a bureaucratic burden: lengthy visa applications, bank statements and proof of income, invitation letters from tournament organizers, travel history and return flights, endless waiting and uncertainty. Even with the support of her team and a growing international profile, Eala often has to navigate delays, rejections, or complicated embassy schedules, all while trying to maintain peak athletic condition and mental focus. Losing time and opportunity. In sports, timing is everything. A delayed visa doesn't just mean missing a flight. It could mean missing a tournament, ranking points, prize money, or a wild card opportunity. Worse still, it can disrupt training cycles and force athletes to reshuffle their carefully planned calendars. For Eala, this isn't hypothetical. There have been moments where she's had to withdraw from events or skip key stops in the tour, not because of injury, but because her visa was still processing. Each delay comes with a cost, not just financially, but in terms of momentum. For a player climbing the WTA ladder, consistency is crucial, and every tournament missed is a step stalled. While her competitors may focus solely on fitness, strategy, and recovery between tournaments, Eala must devote time and energy to preparing documents, attending consular appointments, and praying that approvals arrive in time. A quiet struggle shared by many. Eala is not alone in this. Across sports, athletes from developing countries face similar battles. Whether it's tennis, track and field, or football, travel remains one of the most overlooked forms of inequality in global sports. For young athletes like Eala, who already have to work twice as hard to gain recognition on the world stage, this becomes another mountain to climb. Her achievements are not just earned with sweat and skill, but also with resilience through red tape. It's important to remember, tennis is not just about what happens on the court. It's about access. Access to tournaments. Access to competition. Access to opportunity. And for athletes from countries with limited passport power, that access is anything but guaranteed. The pressure to perform, on and off the court. Despite the behind-the-scenes stress, Eala rarely speaks about it publicly. Like many Filipino athletes, she bears the burden with humility. She focuses on her game, stays composed, and lets her performances speak. But that doesn't mean the pressure isn't real. Imagine training all year for the European clay season, only to get sidelined by a visa issue. Imagine qualifying for a main draw, but watching your name disappear because you couldn't leave your country in time. These are the quiet heartbreaks no highlight reel captures. Yet through it all, Alexandra shows up, strong, focused, ready to compete. Every match she plays is a triumph not just of talent, but of perseverance. The role of federations and global tennis bodies. There is a growing need for tennis federations, tournament organizers, and global governing bodies to recognize these hidden challenges. For example, could there be fast-track visa channels for ranked players with official entry into WTA or ITF tournaments? Could federations assist with documentation and government coordination? Can tournaments provide longer-term, multi-entry support letters to reduce repeated processing?